What is an oligarchy? An oligarchy is a form of government or a political system in which power is concentrated in the hands of a small elite group of individuals, families, or organizations. This group holds significant authority over decision making and often controls the key political, economics, and social institutions in a society. Unlike a democracy, where power is ideally vested in the people, or a monarchy, where power is concentrated in a single ruler. An oligarchy is marked by its limited base of power. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. We're going to start the show. Okay. So today, let me say hello to everybody. Hi, North in Space. Hello, Cindy. How are you? I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. Hi, Cherie. So hello, Monique B. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Y'all go ahead and hit the like button as you come in and subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. So I wanted to do a show about oligarchies because it's very important to understand what we are about to experience. I cannot say this will be the first time. I wouldn't know. But I will say this, that it will be the first time, I believe, that I've ever experienced anything what we're about to experience once Donald Trump is inaugurated tomorrow. Okay. I don't know if anyone is going to watch. I'm not watching. I did not watch today or tonight when he had his hoopla for his MAGA people. So I will not be participating in watching Donald Trump be inaugurated. I will be, celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday. So, yeah, I don't know if anyone else is here going to watch it, but, you do what you want to do. But I will not be participating in the madness. Okay. So an oligarchy. There's our new president. That's good. So like I said, every Sunday we'll be talking about 2025 and Trump and his new oligarchy. Right? Let's see if I can get this a little bit taller. Let me go over here and do this. Okay, that's better. So what are the 7? I'm sorry. Let me go back. Oop. Key characteristics of an oligarchy. I gotta make myself smaller. Okay, here we go. Concentration of power. A small group of people or entities, wealthy individuals, military leaders, or corporate executives hold most of the political and economic power. So what we are about to experience is Elon Musk coming in with Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. These people in this moment in time hold the power because they have most of the money in America. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. Jeff Bezos is the second richest man in the world. And so I don't know where Mark Zuckerberg is, but he's up there. I'm sure he's probably in the top 5. But they control the economic they're going to be controlling what is going on in the White House. Now, we have seen Donald Trump literally have Elon Musk by his side. Elon Musk, I believe, paid $260 million he gave to Trump's campaign. He has been talking with Putin, China. He's all over the world. He has manufacturing companies, I believe, in China as well with his car. Hold on just a second. And so he has, the power and the means to go and do as he pleases. Now, in my opinion, he bought that campaign. He bought that election. I mean, no one can tell me any difference. They say that 77 million people voted for Donald Trump. I don't know how true that is. That's just my opinion. But nonetheless, Kamala Harris succeeded, and no one has said anything as far as I know, and all the things they were saying on TikTok about her coming up and basically, saying that Donald Trump wasn't going to get inaugurated. I mean, there's still 24 hours left. I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, but I will say this man is going to be the president of the United States of America. Elon Musk is by his side. Elon Musk holds the power because he holds the most money in the world. He's the richest man in the world right now. And Elon Musk, in my opinion, wants to be king. So we will have to deal with that for the next 4 years, period. I mean, unless something happens. So number 2, limited political freedom. In an oligarch system, political participation is restricted, often by design, meaning that the majority of citizens have little influence over the governance of the state. Elections, if they exist, may be controlled or manipulated to ensure that the ruling elite remains in power. Now, I don't know if you all remember, but when Donald Trump was campaigning, he said that you only have to vote for me this one time. You'll never have to vote again. And he has said several times that he wants to be a dictator on the first day. So, which leads me to believe, once again, that Donald Trump knew that he was going to win. Because why? Because he had Elon Musk doing his little magic, whatever that may be. We do know that the Russians and the Iranians, interfered in the election. That has been said. There's on the government website. You can go read about it. But Elon Musk, in my opinion, once again, was able to do what he does. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. So number 3, control over resources. The elite in an oligarchy typically have control over the country's resources, whether natural, financial, or human, and use this power to maintain their positions in wealth. Now, this is why I believe that Elon Musk wants those H-1B visas so he can get people here to work in his companies for cheaper prices. He doesn't have to pay them that much, right? Whereas American people, he would have to pay them their worth and what they believe they're worth in. When it comes to technology, you have people that are going to school to become engineers, computer engineers, and they'll be making 6 figures coming out the gate, right? So Elon Musk doesn't want to do that. That's why he wants those H-1B visas to get people from other countries here, so he doesn't have to pay them. I don't know if you ever heard of the Resnicks, but they're saying that the Resnicks own 60% of the water source in California. And we know that the fires are happening, and the Resnicks are billionaires. They own a lot of things, and they own the water, 60% of the water source. And they, from what I'm hearing in this moment, is that they control the water, and they just didn't fill up they didn't let the water take care of the fires. I mean, this is what I'm hearing so far, but I will talk about that on another day. But this is what happens when you have people who are able to go out and just purchase water and have a 60% of control of water, that you are not, you don't want to, water the crops, give people the water, or let the what do you call it? The water, the fire hydrants, you dry them out so they don't have water. So they are limited to water. And that was one of the problems as to why the fires was happening in California. Okay. Number 4, lack of transparency. Oligarchies tend to be opaque with decision making happening behind closed doors, making it difficult for ordinary people to understand how and why policies are implemented. Number 5, economic and political inequity. A hallmark of oligarchy is the vast disparity in wealth and political influence between the ruling elites and the general population. The elites often use their power to ensure policies that benefit them, perpetuating the cycle of inequality. So, so Donald Trump is a prime example. So he says that he's a billionaire, and because he has all this money, all this wealth, and all this power, this man was able to get back into office, and he is not serving time in prison. Now, if he was not elected again or put back in office, he would have most likely served time. This is what the judge that did his case recently said, that he was most likely going to jail. But because he got the position back again, he no longer goes to jail, right? You have Elon Musk was in some hot water as well with the government here in America. And because of his power of getting Donald Trump elected again, he no longer has to worry about that. So these wealthy people will get away with just about anything at this point. You have Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, who came together, sit down, went and kissed the ring, and because they do not want regulations on anything that has to do with social media or anything like that. So they will be selling your information. So if you want to stay connected to Facebook, IG, or any other social media platform that is owned by Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, or I guess Amazon. I have no idea what else Jeff Bezos owns. But if you're connected to them and they own some type of social media platform, they will be selling your information to people who want to sell you stuff, companies. So we are looking at, hey, Norris, we are looking at a time where we won't be equal. We won't have the opportunities to become as rich as they are, I'm sorry, because they'll hold all the power. They hold all the resources. And they'll be buying people down. Elon Musk already does that. From what I've read and come across is that Elon Musk is not that smart. He didn't create any of those things. He didn't create SpaceX. He didn't create that truck. He bought Twitter. Everything that he has, he got from someone else. And he just told people, you know what, I'm going to buy you out, but I want to say that I came up with this idea. And this is from what I've read and what I've seen. So Nora said, I don't share too much of my info on social media anyway. Me either, really. I'm on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook. Well, I'm on Facebook. I don't even go to Facebook. All my stuff is old on Facebook, but I will be deactivating my Facebook. I'm not on there anyway. Bella Barbie. Hi, Bella Barbie. How are you? She said, rich white men have always been in power. It is why we don't. It is why we have the systemic issues that we have. Exactly. And now it's going to be more systemic issues because, the Heritage Foundation said that they will be implementing their agenda. They're not going to tell everyone what it is or everything that they're doing. Basically, they want it to be a surprise. They don't want any. We're in trouble. I can't say it any plainer than that. And I don't want to scare anybody. I got a phone call from another content creator last week telling me how scared they were. Hey, Natasha, hi Gwen, thank you for being here. And how scared they are for what's coming in their state. They're implementing all these laws and stuff, and they're afraid. And I said, don't be afraid. Just make sure your family is healthy. Take care of your mental health. And that's all you can do at this point, right? Or you can go out there and you can march. You can do all that if you want to, but stay vigilant, right? So I get told this all the time by, people I talk to on the outside that is deep into politics, is just stay vigilant and get out there. Do not stop doing your YouTube channel. Do not stop giving out information. Do not stop asking questions. Talk to people, because in 2026, there will be an election, and hopefully it will be a blue wave, unless, once again, Elon Musk and his power that he has. This man has a lot of power, and I'm sure the Democrats in the White House will continue to fight. Like Trump said, fight, fight, fight. And I'm sure they will continue to fight, as we should also. But we also need to take care of our mental health, because this is going to be an experience. And I know I said before, when election was going on, that we need to get out there and vote. And I know a lot of people didn't vote. Okay. I'm reading some comments that I posted on my community tab, and people are saying, well, she wasn't black. Kamala's not black, and this, and it's not whatever. But it's always that. It's always something. And then now I'm seeing Nelly, and I'm seeing Snoop Dogg, and my husband comes to me and said, did you see what Snoop Dogg went and he's performing at the inauguration? But these people don't care. You know why? Because these people have millions of dollars. So they don't really have to. They're not like you and I. We don't have millions of dollars. Well, I don't have $1 million. But they're not living the way we live. So they can go out there and they make their money, and they can check and jive, right? Step and fetch it or whatever. Yeah, that's what it's, step and fetch it. And play around, because they think that they are accepted. And my husband watched the video, and he turned to me, he said, I didn't see a black face in the audience last night when they were performing. And I couldn't believe it, because I had just saw a video of a Snoop Dogg during the election calling Donald Trump a racist. And before I came on, I saw a video of Nelly talking on a YouTuber and saying, how is he racist? And just making a lot of excuses for Donald Trump, and making excuses for him going to perform. Now, but calling out all the things, racial things that Joe Biden said. But once again, Joe Biden apologized for the things that he said, right? And Joe Biden has put more people of color into positions than Donald Trump ever has. So it befuddles me that Nelly thinks that, he's not taking ownership for him going and playing, doing his little dance or whatever. All you got to just own up to it. If you didn't like Kamala Harris, then say that, but don't sit out there and make a fool out of yourself, citing all the old stuff from 1970s and the 80s of what Joe Biden said. We're in 2024, and Donald Trump still has not apologized to the New York Five, okay? And calling black men who protest sons of bitches, and they're eating cats and dogs, and send these people back to their shithole states or countries, right? That all these African states or countries and other countries of people of color are shithole countries. But Nelly wants to sit there instead of just owning up to him. So you know what? I needed the money. I did what I had to do to get paid, period. Because we know your girl is pregnant. Ashanti is about to have a baby. That's what I heard. I don't know. I don't follow him. This was what I was told. And he probably needs the money. Because when was his last hit? 2000? You know what I'm saying? Or 2001? I don't know. I don't listen to them anyway. But yeah, so we're dealing with people that are, especially black men, and I hate to say it, and not all Black men, but it's getting really sad out here that we are not sticking together. And that's one thing about Black folks, we just don't do it. And I'm just keeping it 100. And I'm just as irritated, when I turn on television or if I look at stuff on social media, and we just don't stick together. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm really irritated, and I'm just irritated. Okay. So anyway, I wanted to show this article about from this guy named Jim Stewartson. And I will read it from this side because I can't see it on this side. It's too small. All right. Jim Stewartson wrote this article, and it is named Biden's Alternative Reality. And I wanted to read this to you because I think this is important for you all to hear as well. This is also about oligarchies. On August 2nd, 2020, I saw a terrifying movement, a neo-Nazi online cult referred as QAnon by the press, metastasizing through bizarre conspiracies and a game of mechanics that I helped invent 20 years ago. 6 months later, it attacked the Capitol as I predicted. I have spent every day since trying to warn about it. Through the entire Biden administration, 1,627 days, 20,000 hours, 107,000 tweets, 10,000 videos, 1,600 articles, hundreds of podcasts, and 2 frivolous lawsuits. When Musk started to show his true colors 3 years ago, I warned what he is, as he weaponized Twitter to brainwash people into this techno-Nazi worldview. And Mike Flynn traveled the country on a QAnon tour. I yelled into the void that we were missing the point over and over and over. It all came to naught, of course. The Department of Justice and FBI were fatally compromised, and the president made a decision that protecting the norms and institutions was more important than protecting American citizens from being brainwashed or holding people accountable for January 6th. Despite what seemed like a valiant effort to torpedo Trump by Jack Smith, it all went out with a whimper. Smith's final report on January 6th is a relic, the retelling of an attempt to work in a system that was never going to let him succeed. Tonight, Joe Biden will give a speech touting his successes. And it's true that he set the economy back on track and passed meaningful legislation, just like all Democratic presidents do. But like all Democrats, he didn't fix or even acknowledge the real problem. Joe Biden says we braved through it. We emerged stronger, more prosperous, and more secure. I beg to differ. Joe Biden never left the alternate reality of the establishment. He surrounded himself with Malik-toast aides who fed him the positive outcome he was looking for, but never gave him the truth. The America Joe Biden fixed the economy for is dead. The establishment alternate reality he will talk about tonight is dead. None of what he did matters because the other alternate reality, the fascist conspiracy movement created by Flynn and his conspirators, now replicated a monstrous scale by Musk, is more powerful and more organized with infinite financial resources. This is not true. This is not Trump 2.0. It's a takeover by the PayPal mafia. PayPal mafia is Peter Thiel, a group of Nazi immigrants who saw us as a soft target. The reality is that every Republican president since Nixon, the Republicans had to cheat to win the White House. And like most, they had to collude with our foreign enemies to succeed. But this time is fundamentally different. At the inauguration on Monday will be the American Oligarchy, a group of psychopaths competing to be the world's first trillionaire, conspiring about how best to create hardship and austerity, to suck the last remaining money out of the treasury so they can create a feudalist, eugenist slave state. Trump will issue 100 plus executive orders decimating everything Biden did and plunging the nation into terror on day one. Musk now has office space in the White House, as will numerous other billionaires in the cabinet and other top positions in the government. Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, who pretended to be in favor of democracy and control a massive swath of the digital and physical economy, have completely capitulated. Tim Cook and numerous other tech billionaires donated to Trump's inauguration slush fund. The Russians are quite pleased about it. All this was preventable. All of it was foreseeable. But for years, nothing was done to stop it. Joe allowed himself to be lulled in complacency into thinking that if we just did the right thing, it will all work out. Sadly, those days are those days are over because people have been lied to for so long. They think the right thing is to destroy their own country. I respect the president and his 50 years of service. In many ways, he did an admirable job, but in the most important job he had, the oath to protect and defend the Constitution and the American people. He turned out to be another old man living in an alternate reality created for him by others. The truth of the matter is that we are at war, and the president was never honest about it. His administration presided over the end of the American experiment as we knew it. He will be seen in history as our Paul von Hindenburg, who handed over power in a peaceful transition to Hitler. That said, I have not and will never give up on my country. Perhaps in the end, the kleptocratic catrocity being installed in the horrors this regime will execute are the only thing that will snap us out of it. Perhaps what will emerge from the wreckage will be better, but that will not happen on its own. We must protest, resist, and sabotage every attempt at seizing more power. We must stop being afraid to get in their face as they try to defraud us out of our rights, labor, and resources. We must stop being afraid to call Russia the enemy, a terrorist state that must be defeated, not a legitimate nation. Unfortunately, neither history or power will be in our hands after Monday. The power of our military, our economic might, and the labor of the people will be handed over to a transitional crime syndicate who wants to remake the planet. The way forward is opaque, but I am convinced it exists. I do not think America per se is finished, but unfortunately, we brave through it. Is a line absurdly premature. Nevertheless, brave through it we will. Okay. So, I wanted to share that with you guys. Thank you, Betsy Bauer. I read the article and I'm thinking to myself, this is scary times. And I didn't want to be scared and I didn't want to be stressed out about it. But basically, this article by Jim Stewartson, Biden's alternate reality, is scary. Because, of course, it's an opinion piece, but at the same time, this man is giving you the truth. And these men, Jeff Bezos, Donald Trump, who just sold a coin and made, I don't know how many billion. I think I saw $28 billion this coin made. It's ridiculous. Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk are all fighting to see who will be the first trillionaire. I definitely believe that. What else do they have to do? I mean, what else is there? They go to space. You know, you got Mark Zuckerberg over here fighting in the MMA. They have nothing. They're bored. And when you get bored and you, oh, let's see who can be the first trillionaire. What are we going to do next? And how? But Elon Musk said, it's going to be difficult times we're going to go through. We're going to suffer through hard times, but we must do that to deconstruct what the government is, deconstruct the government, and you start all over again. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but that's basically what he said, that we, the American people, are going to have to suffer. He's not part of that because he doesn't know what suffering is. He didn't come from suffrage. He has no idea what that is. And so, hey, you would just have to deal. We're going to be dealing with a lot of things that we probably never thought we would ever hear. And I kind of agree with him when he talks about Joe Biden. Like, okay, Joe, like, what are y'all? Why are y'all not fighting? If I was Kamala, I wouldn't succeeded. I wouldn't have. They would have to do a whole lot of research. A lot. I would have fought. She's not showing up apparently to the inauguration. Good for her. You know what I mean? But what about the rest of you? Can't keep telling us to fight, but because a lot of us are tired and we're stressed. Just reading stuff like that just kind of just stressed me out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are we supposed to do? I'm a woman of color, middle-aged. They're telling people about follow the brown people. If you see brown people, there's letters going out about that. If you see brown and black people, follow them and get their license plate to make sure they're legal in the country. You know what I mean? So that all of this is stressful for people of color. And I'm born in this country. I'm generations in this country. So, I can be tough and I can handle my own, but I don't want to be living in a country where people are following me because they think I don't belong here. You understand what I'm saying? Or I don't want to have to see people standing in line to get gas. I don't want to have to see people standing in line to get cheese because that's where we're going. This is when I said, when the election was happening, I said, this is going to be like, what was the movie I brought up? And someone laughed, I think it was Red Label, started laughing about it. And I was like, not Games of Thrones, but the other one, when the girl is across you have the oligarchy is sitting up there, and the girl is trying to fight him. I can't think of the name of the movie, but whatever. So, it's going to be like 1930 all over again, and we probably will go into a depression because he's going to implement his tariffs. But Hunger Games. Thank you, Natasha. So yeah, I said it was going to be like Hunger Games, right? So I say, for you all that want to live in reality or just want to float on by, you take the blue pill, take the red pill. We are in the matrix for sure. So I tell my husband this all the time. I tell my sister this all the time. We're living in the matrix. It's insane what we are seeing, that the government, they are allowing these people to Donald Trump's cabinet picks, be placed into office. I don't understand this. Now, I don't think they're going to last, but it's just like, all of this is crazy. It's very crazy. I never thought in my age that I would see some stuff like this. Never thought this in a million years, that we would be going backwards in 2023, 2024, 2025, when everybody else is going forward, everybody else around the world is going forward, and we are going backwards, literally. And it's a sad day. I'm not trying to be gloomy, but this is, I wasn't waiting for this. I was waiting for this day to come. I'm waiting for Donald Trump to get inaugurated, right? So people can F around and find out. Now I'm just pissed off about it. And now I'm scared. So I'm going through these same emotions was going through when Kamala Harris didn't get elected. Same stanky ass emotions that I didn't want to go through, you know? So I'm kind of scared too, to be honest with you. But I'm going to keep fighting for sure. And I hope that you all will do the same. This is, like I said, not going to be pretty. So I read an article today that says, do not buy anything for 18 months. And I'm thinking, do not buy a car, do not buy a computer, do not buy a phone. Just save your money for the next 18 months. Because I don't know how long it's going to take for these people to do what they're going to do. Apparently, they're going to go straight into the White House, start implementing the immigration reform. Of course, Donald Trump is going to, you know, do what he do. Hey, Mel. Oh, you love the thumbnail. Thank you. So I'll drop the link, and if Mel, if you want to come up, if anybody want to come up and talk about how they're feeling, we can have a discussion tonight. I have nothing but time. Okay. So yeah. Yes, Natasha, they are taking away veterans benefits. I read that as well. It is it's sad. It's very sad. Like I said, we do have and I'm saying the person who wrote the article, don't buy anything for 18 months, I believe, because they believe that it will be a blue wave because you have the election coming up in 2026, which we can flip the house. I just saw 2 clips from the individual who will be tomorrow. He openly admitted to Elon assisting with rigging the elections. Unfortunately, I doubt anything will be done. I mean, yeah. Hey, Mel, what's going on? How you been doing today?
Hello, I'm doing good.
That's it?
That's all.
That's all,
huh? That's all she wrote. Now, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Like I was saying, kind of feeling after reading this article by what's his name, Jim Stewartson, and this basically is called Biden's Alternate Reality. And I heard someone else talk about it, so I thought I'd read it all out, let people hear it, because I'm sure, you know, it's a good article. It's a scary article. It's basically saying that, you know, Elon Musk is going to come in and he's going to be a terror.
Oh, wow.
And Joe Biden didn't do what he should have done. You know, well, Joe Biden is taking his, taking his pat on his back and walking out the door.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, too, I think that I said it on your show a couple of years ago. I was like, you know, I know it's controversial to say, but I didn't know what a president could do. All the power that the person has until Trump got in office. Now, I don't like Trump at all, but some of the fact is I didn't know that they can do whatever they wanted to do. It seemed like, you know, this man does whatever he wants. I wish Obama and I wish Biden would have done a little more of that, because the simple fact is people thought that if you're just going to be gentlemen and you're going to play by the rules, then it's going to protect the people that's in danger. That's not the case. You know, it's not the way that people should play the game. But I was watching this program with this man named Scott Galloway, I believe. He went off on Morning Joe a couple of weeks ago when Zuckerberg came out and he was talking his crap. And he was like, the biggest thing that these billionaires and these trillionaires don't understand is the biggest innovation, the biggest thing any real business person understands is that you want to strengthen the middle class. You want to make the middle class stronger. That was the biggest, boom, the biggest money grower in the world was what we did in America with the middle class. It's not about, making one group of people ultra rich, because at a certain point it just feels like monopoly. It feels like monopoly money. It's like, okay, this doesn't seem real. It all seemed like a scam. And it doesn't, like, billions and trillions and zillions and can do. I'm like, but what does this mean? Like, it's just like, how much is enough? And even the TikTok thing, I know that's not a title, but I was on a show the other day and people were out there crying and losing their mind and everything. And I was like, no, this is just a scam that at this point, I feel 2 years ago, I don't know it to be true. I feel 2 years ago, Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and Donald Trump and whatever, Swami, all these people got into Mar-a-Lago somewhere and they sat around and they came up with a war plan, because it seemed like every single thing that could go in Trump's direction did in the past couple of years. It is not a coincidence that, even this thing, this morning when TikTok popped up from China, wherever, said, oh, you know what? I'm sorry we scared you, but 170 million people, you should be thankful to Donald Trump because the app is bad. Like, this is all a total scam, everything at this point. So
I mean, it's like they're pissing on our legs and telling us it's raining outside. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to TikTok, Donald Trump was the main person who complained about TikTok. Remember? Because he wasn't getting that many likes on TikTok, and he went and he complained about TikTok, and then I guess the Republicans went and said, you know what? Let's go and we're going to throw this out here, and TikTok is a threat. TikTok is a threat. And so Joe Biden signed it into law. I mean, well, did he say he wasn't going to touch it or something like that? But it went across his desk, and now because it was him, he initiated the ban. And so, and now because he wants people to kiss his feet, the Chinese guy comes in, oh, we're going to talk to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is saving TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm going through YouTube, I see that they're having his MAGA event today, his party for the MAGA people, and before the inauguration, remember? And someone in the chat said, oh, Donald Trump saved TikTok. And I was like, here we go. So it's like, but of course, people are going to believe that. And so, because he wants to be, Donald Trump is the hero. It's the hero. And I told my husband, said, I'm not doing TikTok. I'm not getting on. I'm shutting down IG. I'm shutting it all down because they're not going to be regulated. Right. So they're going to be just selling your information to whomever wants it. They don't want regulations. That came out of Jeff Bezos' mouth. So, so then I find this other article. I mean, this TikToker who said that the guy, I can't say his name, the guy who owns TikTok is playing chess with Donald Trump. It's a long video. I wish it, but yeah, he said he's playing chess with Donald Trump. He's not going to sell out to Donald Trump, and TikTok is not going anywhere. That's what the Asian guy said. Chinese guy out of Houston said. He said, I'm from Houston, Texas. I'll find the video. But, I'm just like, all of this is just,
it's too convenient.
And when you think about it, it was 170 million people on TikTok, right? Americans who were making money on TikTok. So now I'm thinking, why would you get rid of TikTok and all these people are making this money? It just doesn't sound, it sounds crazy.
It's emotional. It's
$10 million. The rich are getting richer. What? Thank you for being here, Christopher. TikTok paid Trump $10 million.
It was emotional blackmail. It was emotional blackmail. That's what it was. It basically, and so At the end of the day, if this was a movie, you probably would turn it off. You'd be like, damn, this is just too convenient. Everything that could go right is going, it's too convenient. So before this man is in his, do this thing tomorrow, before that happens, this weekend of all times, half of the country who are addicted to the app had this moment where they were totally upset. And
Right.
now they feel relieved, even if they didn't vote for him in some way. They feel relieved before this happened or whatever. So it's all it's too convenient. It's all too convenient for me.
It is. It is.
It's too
That's
convenient.
why we're in the matrix. So we are gonna have to. We're gonna be dealing with a lot of this stuff. A lot of this
But I
can.
think, but I think too. But you know what? I think that people have to protect their mind. They have to protect their
Yeah.
mind at this point. That should be the slogan on the other side. This is what I come to the idea about is that they're after, or whoever, I don't know who, but people are after your mind. They are after to manipulate you. People already understand. Obviously, when people were so upset this weekend that these apps that I love your title of the program, the nerds, that the nerds cooked up. They figured out a way in the 1980s or the 70s to really tap into the part of the brain that is addicted. That is not going to be addicted to food or to anything else, that is addicted to these new technologies. You are now become addicted to it like you become addicted to your coffee. So now they are the pushers. And they are pushing Facebook. They are pushing all these different electronics, whatever. Excuse me. And they also now faster becoming addicted to Bitcoin. They're
Mhm.
becoming addicted to crypto. So now these people, these nerds, have now become the leaders of all of the population's addictions. That has nothing to do with food or alcohol or any of the other stuff. This is the technology. People become addicted to technology. So now they can start playing games with your life. They can start playing games with your mind. They can start, never in the history of time. So another point too, the reason this election feels so different is because we do have so much technology. This
Right.
is an experimental time. And we would never ever have had a president like him if we didn't have a place for, in my opinion, a national terrorist to go and to manipulate these different technologies, basically manipulate other people's addictions. He used people's addictions against them. They were
Mhm.
addicted to podcasts, addicted to their phones. They were not, excuse me, Miss Sunday, they weren't addicted to reading no books. They weren't
Right.
addicted to reading no pamphlets at the local board of election. They were
Right.
addicted to that stuff that goes to your brain that makes you feel addicted. So now you got them. So maybe people like us, that's what I do. I'm telling people, listen, it's all an addiction. It's all a thing. They have got you where they want you. Now, mind you, there was a whole group of people who didn't vote at all. And this is why, in my little theory, he's still nervous and very scared that there were people sitting on the couch this election. He's like, damn, they weren't manipulated, they weren't moved, they weren't scared, they just left me right alone. They left me alone. How can I go and wake up these people that were sitting on the couch? Well, you know what? I still don't believe they were manipulated by this stunt either. I don't. People I talked to was like, we know this is a stunt, just like you. We just like this is clear as day.
Mhm.
So I voted for Kamala Harris. I no way in hell I'll be voting for anybody affiliated with him in 2 years or 4 years. It ain't going to happen. But we just got to keep on talking to people and saying, listen. Oh, and also I told you this before. This is not the time to be quiet. So there are things that they want to talk about. There are things that these different groups don't want to talk about. Please go to your local board of election, because we still have opportunities now before they get smart and try to red line and mess that up. If you're a person who's concerned about what's going on in the next year, and this is what I'll tell you to do. Tuesday, whatever time, Tuesday, Wednesday, call up your local board of election. Call them up. Ask them in free time that you have. If you're retired, if you want to work on the weekend, ask them, is there a way I can volunteer? Learn more about your local board of election. Learn more about your local community boards. These are places that you can get into. And just like the way Miss Crockett out in Texas be yelling and doing her reads and getting people together, you also can show up in those different places too, and kind of be a thorn in their side. Because they have not gotten a grip on that yet. There's still places we could slip into. Maybe in 2 years they'll figure out a way to mess that up too. But right now, there's still places we can go. to really get in and join these different boards and at least mess it up while he's in there for these 4 years.
Well, yeah, that's what Christopher said. He said we have 2 years and we can vote all local senators and House members out.
Yeah. And join boards. That's what I'm saying. Is not, you don't even have to be very passive when it comes to this process. You can go. I mean, right now you can call your local senators and other places and ask them questions like, "What the hell is going on?" That's what I do. This is we have the time. I have not a fear, but I do feel like if somebody in that damn, like you said, the surprises coming from the Heritage
Foundation. Yeah.
There we go. Those people. Maybe they might think, oh, you know what? Citizens, which is crazy. Citizens shouldn't have the opportunity to join a local community board. We want to change that too. Right now, they have not done it because they're so focused on the money. They're not focused on the politics, Miss Sunny, which is a loophole for us. People like us can get in because they so focused on being greedy that they're not focused on places where we actually can get in at. They can't do two things at one time. So
well, do you think that's what the Heritage Foundation is there for? Because Elon Musk and
Donald Trump,
and they're going to drain the treasury, right?
Yeah.
This is basically what this article said. And everybody's saying that they're, Donald Trump, they're in there for the money. Donald Trump did it so he wouldn't have to go to jail. And he's going to get paid. He's already getting paid. He just made $28 billion off his Bitcoin or his little coin that he sold. And so, they're in it for the money.
And our money too.
Musk wants to be the first trillionaire. So he and Jeff Bezos are going back and forth. Who's going to get there first? Who's going to get there first? You know what I'm saying? So that's all they're thinking about. But like you said, yeah, they're focused on the money. My thing is the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025. Now, there's video out there of, I think the man's name is Kevin, who runs the Heritage Foundation, and basically saying, look, yeah, we have some things in the pipeline. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to give out our information. But when it happens, you will know. Hi, Von Eric. I'm glad to see you here. So it's like, I was like, what the hell? You know what I mean? So he has the House, he has the Senate, but the House isn't strong, right? That's the positive. Now, a Republican can turn and say, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm not voting for this. I'm not, I'm about America, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to put up with what Donald Trump is dishing out. I don't believe in Elon Musk doing what he's, but when the money's right.
Yeah, and the funny thing too is our money. So these people are so focused on their businesses and what they do and all that stupid crap they talk about. How hard people are to work and all that kind of stuff. Case in point, California needs aid, and they talking about blackmailing them so they can give them aid out there. What's his name? Alan Baldwin, who had his own issues, came out and had a wonderful TikTok or whatever the video was. Said, listen. California puts in 30 billion or whatever kind of billion for movies and all type of stuff. They do a lot of stuff, just like New York City does. We send the money to Washington. We don't get nothing back. Now, when we have a disaster like this, we are not asking. We're not begging for the money to come back. We are demanding. We put the money in. We're supposed to get it back. This is not your money to control. You don't have the right to try to blackmail people. So Scott Galloway was on the show. And he was saying that this is the energy that happens before a revolution. And I'm not talking about a MAGA revolution. I'm talking about a revolution, not like Luigi, but people like us are like, this is enough already. Why would you want to mess up the insurance? You want to mess up the taxes for the, people are not making $5 million a year. You want to mess up this, mess up that. There's a revolution that can come up, just like the Occupy Wall Street and all those different movements. Those things are starting to bubble up too. I'm in different communities online. I'm seeing people getting more and more riled up about organizing. I mean, even today, I was, to be honest with you, I don't know much about technology, but I was curious. I was like, damn, is Apple and Android the only way that you can download an app? And I was researching. I was like, no, if you figure out a way to get an Android phone, and then if you were technical enough, which I'm not, and you know how to open it up and then, do your work and stuff like that, you can actually build a phone and build your own apps that was not connected to these mind control things. So that's like years in advance. But there are people in the community, African-American people out here saying, how can we get off the grid? How can we get off these things where we can, talk to each other, build with each other, almost like our own kind of Wall Street again, basically, but a virtual kind where we don't be so manipulated. Because this was the last straw. The TikTok was the last straw. It was like, okay, you're doing this right before Monday, really? Like we used to be focused on Martin Luther King, now on these damn white men and all these games they playing. So,
Right.
this thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, Marie Rogers. She said that you should have talked about what Bernie Sanders talked about, a growing oligarchy in this country in everyday words. The Democrats failed in every way about addressing the needs of the people. The article that I read earlier, they talk about that. Biden's alternate reality. I read an article and the guy said that Biden failed America. So if you want to go back, I don't know if you heard it from the beginning or what, but if you go back, I just read an article basically saying about Biden didn't address what he should have addressed. Anyway, go ahead, man.
You know what? Listen, we live in a time where people are really good at, saying, what did it say? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. At the end of the day, okay, it is in a dictatorship, there will be no organization. Watch the movie in the time of the butterflies.
Yes. In the time of the butterflies.
Okay. I
gotta watch that.
I don't believe that.
Marie Rogers said Indians from India make more money than white men. Whites trying to catch up. But they don't make more here. The administration is going to be known as this administration is going to be known as the most successful criminals in the history of America. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just like, honestly, I'm just like flabbergasted that America is okay with a criminal. It's like the hypocrisy of it all. They're complaining about Michelle Obama not showing up for Donald Trump's inauguration, but nobody complained when he didn't show up when Joe Biden was being inaugurated. It's stuff like that. It's like, you don't do this and you all don't do that. Da, 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 da. And then it's like, but you allow this, you chose a criminal. Like, where is the, what is going on in the this new Republican Party's mind that it's okay to have a criminal or felon as the president of the United States?
When they were,
you have tipped over the domino, right? Because we're not going backwards. I'm just going to put this out here, and this is just my opinion. Once you have opened Pandora's box, you can never close it again. So now we are going into a okay. So we're going into something completely different that this country has never seen during modern times in the 20th century, right? So Donald Trump, I mean, I'm just flabbergasted by it, to be honest with you. I'm really just taken aback. And every day I wake up, I'm just like, this is unbelievable to me. Because it wasn't how I was, I never thought that we would be here. Never in a million years. I never thought that. Just like someone said that we are a third world country wearing Gucci belts. Yeah. We are a third world. America is a third world country in Gucci belts. Yeah. I know my husband out there yelling. So the Buffalo is playing against, I don't know. The Buffalo is playing tonight, and I told you my cousin plays for Buffalo.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. It's a football game, so you can hear my husband downstairs going crazy. Anyway, the statistics states that Indians make more money than white native born. They're head of the corporations Emphasis. Emphasis was sued for this very reason. Please check out the case. Okay. Christopher said Republicans voted. Whoop, hold on. Y'all moving too fast for me now. Oh, I don't see it. And a dictatorship. Okay. So yeah, the statistics state, I've read that already. Natasha said America voted for white mediocrity and money. Yeah, they did. They definitely did that.
You know, I was watching The View this week. I told you.
Yeah, Indians did vote for Donald Trump.
Hmm.
But we've talked about that before. You and I did, Mel. We talked about how people come here because they want to assimilate with the people who are in power. So when they come from other countries like India, Pakistan, or other countries, the Middle East, or from Mexico or Colombia, and they have some money and they come here, they want to assimilate, or Cuba, they're going to assimilate more with the white man because the white man has the power. And you will do that. People are going to do that. I want to be like this person. Africans come over here to do the same exact thing. They look down on Black American people, right? Called Black American people lazy. They do that all the time. So they just want to assimilate with the white American man because they see he holds the power. So I need to stand next to this man, the one that holds the power. I don't want to be down here lollygagging with these folks over here ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? Well, I was going to say, and I told you this. That's actually one of the oldest laws of the universe. You know, that is just like the beginning of time. You know, that may even go to the Bible time about why people took the apple or what's going. Like that is really a part of the human condition. That if you have a fear, that you want to go where you feel the power is. Now, sometimes that gets you in trouble. You know, that's kind of about that's like a spiritual thing. But I want to say something because I've gone to different spaces too online, and you know, in a way, the Trump supporters, they are happy, but they kind of still angry, and a lot of them kind of look confused. And what they do sometimes is they want to get into a battle of research. They want to get into debate with you about research. And I think that for me, the good thing is, for the next 4 years, I don't have to battle another one of the Trump people. I just have to tell them off if I want to. I don't have to battle them. I don't have to do none of that stuff. I don't have to convince them. I think that me and you had a conversation before the election. You was like, you know, I love going around to knock on people's doors and you know, to communicate whatever. And if I talk to people, I can communicate. I say, you know what, Miss Sunny? Simple fact is, if somebody's going to vote for Trump, they was going to vote for Trump. There's nothing we can do that's going to convince them. So I rather not even. I'm so happy not to do that. I also feel like some of the attitudes of the Trump people are like, you know, he's a dictator. This is what's going to happen. Doom and gloom, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, well, that's not the country I'm living in. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not scared of anything. I don't see it that way. And I do know there are other options. And like I've said, there are things that can be done, you know, and so it's not going to, you know, this is not going to be the end all be all. You know, it didn't work out the way it was. And also, I think Trump supporters have to remember, he may have gotten 75, whatever kind of million, but it was also over 70 something million people who voted against him and voted for her for only 3 months on the campaign trail. And there were millions of people who didn't vote. So it's not really a landslide. So I'm not really sitting around with anxiety like, oh, I'm alone. No, it's a lot of us out here who are waiting for the opportunity to take it back, basically. So yeah, it's not really that kind of thing. I think that for me, it's more, I'm more annoyed about how greedy him and all these people are, and just how stupid some of these people were, who are like, oh, you know, corruption and the wars and this and that. I'm thinking, well, you know, this is the same thing we're being presented right now. So, you know, Yeah, so I think that some of these people who came out there about, well, we want to change this, and she was this way and he was that way, and it was garbage. It was total garbage, because I don't see Trump is no saint, and he's not going to solve anybody's problems. He may
Right.
make some people some money on occasion, but he's not solving people's problems. There are still, I would say, there's still major issues in this country that will not be solved in 4 years by Trump. If we have 100% of problems, he may attempt to fix maybe 10%, and there'll still be 90% of problems thereafter, whatever happens in 2028. He's not going to fix anybody's problems.
No, of course not. He's going to be on the golf course playing golf. Elon Musk is going to be ripping out off the government, the American people.
And you know what? And it's people like you, and
crap. I mean, it's just
and it's people like you and I and other people. Our job these 4 years is to not let people go down that hole. I think that this is just like psychological warfare at this point. When I was watching The View this week, and the ladies over there, and Joy got mad, said, "This ain't normal." She almost banged the table, said, "This is not normal," because some of the other people on the table, some of the other people on the table was like, "Oh, this is normal. This is not normal.
It's not normal.
He's a national champ." And you know what? The people, and so this is the thing too. The people who voted against him, if you constantly train your mind to believe in a year or 2 years or 4 years that this is normal, then you will become quiet, and you won't be there to constantly, push back on the things that happen. This is not normal. So
it's not. Christopher Davis says, "How much money does one man need?" They want to be trillionaires. That's my whole point. It's like Elon Musk wants to hold the power. First of all, Elon Musk is, from what I've read, has Asperger's. So he's autistic, from what I read. And so he's that's why I said it's revenge of the nerds.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm sure he's a bookworm. I'm not saying that he's the dumbest man, but he's intelligent enough to know how to con people out of their inventions and their money, right? So he took other people's inventions the same way that Zuckerberg did with Facebook. He stole someone else's idea. And so anyway, took it to the government. This is what I want to do. They gave it to him. Here you go, take this money. And then he just blows up, right? I'm just whatever. And he buys Twitter. He gets on Twitter, turns it into a whole. Twitter was completely different, right? Because I never was on Twitter. And then he bought it. Then someone was like, "Oh, you should get on Twitter." And then when I got on Twitter, it was just all this racial stuff. I was like, I don't want to be on Twitter. It's just too much. And Elon Musk was posting all the time. And if you said something negative about Elon Musk, he would flag your ass. Because I got flagged several times because I said something negative about him. He flagged me, and I couldn't type I couldn't be on it for 24 hours. And I'm thinking, I thought this was freedom of speech. So you all can sit here and say all this other stuff, but no one can say anything about you. Right. It's okay to have freedom of speech as long as we're not saying anything negative about Elon Musk. He's an egotistical, narcissistic. Well, I think he's an alien. I don't believe he's from here. Now, that's my opinion. And I've been saying that for years. I do not believe that man is human. Anybody else, y'all can laugh at it. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I think there are aliens walking among us, and I think that he is one of them. Okay. He wants to put Neuralink in people, right? Attach it to their brains to make them think that they're robots. He said, this video of him saying that. Oh, you should try Neuralink. Yeah. What human being wants to implant something to make them think they are a freaking robot? Elon Musk.
And see that, that's
human.
I'm seeing the chat there. I agree with Christopher. He said, "What about freedom of speech?" You see, this is the funny thing too.
What happened to freedom of speech?
Well, you know what? It's funny. This is the funny thing too. So this is the big blind spot they have. This is the big blind spot they have. They don't know it. Maybe they will, or maybe they won't. If Obama and Biden would have treated them and their groups, their MAGA groups, and all they did this for about 15 years. They've been developing this momentum for about 15 years. If they would have treated treated them the way that they're trying to treat anybody who's not for Trump, then their whole movement would have never grown. They would have just squashed them down with all the different tricks and bells and whistles. But because it was not American, Obama and Biden, they didn't do that. They said, well, these people are not trying to, excuse me, I can't use the words on YouTube. These people are not trying to harm people. They're not trying to, be like Tim McVeigh or whatever that man was in Oklahoma. They're not trying to do this. They're just out here just running their mouth. So, this is America, so they can go out here and they can even say, talk about me being hung on a tree or whatever, they didn't stop them at that point. But if we start debunking the lies, and even this thing too, this is the thing for me too, is that Trump, he's always selling something to his minions. So a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, they had this whole thing about unelected bureaucrat. And, this whole thing, get the people, this is a swamp, drain the swamps, get the people out of Washington, unelected bureaucrat. But what are all the people that you put in there? These people who have not been elected, they don't have any, they don't have any knowledge about government. And now you sit them in there and you talking about you want us to buy into this idea that you don't want unelected bureaucrats in Washington when you're bringing people in. That makes no sense.
Right. But but that's what he does. This whole thing that Donald Trump is doing right now, and I say it's scary because you're putting all types of people into position that has never worked in the government, right? That don't even putting them over positions that they don't even know anything about. Putting a man, Hessek, over 3 million people in control and having control over billions of dollars in the military, just because you serve, you become a Fox host, and now and everything else that comes with your misogynistic behind, and then he's putting you into position to run, a government entity with no experience whatsoever. And then the whole time they're interviewing him, the Republicans over here, some of them are saying DEI. Kamala Harris was a DEI, and we need to get rid of DEI. This dude, when I told you this, I said, this dude is DEI, right? You're putting up somebody that don't have any experience, and just because he's a white man that Donald Trump happens to like, and he's going to bow down to Donald Trump, you're just going to put him in position. That's DEI to me. You know what I'm saying? So Donald Trump wants nothing but yes people. And so all the people that he chose, because last time those were people who worked for the government. They understood the government and how the government was ran. Now you're just going to have a bunch of people that have no idea. They're just going to, oh, we should do this. Oh, yeah. Just imagine if they have a protest. Donald Trump would say, you know what? Call out the National Guard and shoot everybody in the street. Okay. People knocking on your doors, taking away your guns. I found out that you was a registered gun owner. I come to get your gun. Black people. Hispanic people. People of color coming to take your guns. I mean, and I don't even want to put anything out there like that because I already put out this kind of stuff last year. I said, if y'all want to be slaves again, don't vote. I did not say that. If this is what you want, don't get out and vote unless you want to be a slave. I'm just telling you right now. You better get your ass out there and vote.
At the end of the day, America was an experiment. It was an experiment. And you know what? And listen, the technology caught up to it, and it messed it up. I think that maybe the job of people who are sane is to focus on technology, because I think that's where it's at. I mean, at the end of the day, all these problems, you know what? I'm thinking about it. I'm talking to you right now. All these problems come from technology, to be honest with you. It really does. Like everything you can think of, the manipulation of the mind, the podcast, those things are not evil. It's just that the more research come out, they have manipulated, the algorithm, what do you want to call it? That, so we had to learn more about that in the next couple of years, because it's not that the technology is evil, just the way it has been used by these billionaires, the nerds. You know,
Yeah.
they made it very poisonous, very poisonous.
Christopher said, in the next 4 years, I am no longer a consumer, only if it improves my health. That's it. Save your money. Exactly. Exactly. I said, do not buy anything for 18 months. I just read an article that says, do not purchase anything for 18 months. When I came on here and I gave out the information about what stores and who supported the Project 2025, only shop for necessities. Don't get out here shopping. I'm telling y'all, like, this is not the time to do that. Real
Yeah,
talk.
I was going to
Save
say,
your money. Because Elon Musk has already said that we are going to have to go through hard times before, and we're going to have to get out here and deregulate this government and start all over again. And it's going to be hard. So, if
and
you
that,
want
that, and that and that was funny to me.
to in this third world country,
And that's funny.
right.
That's funny, because now the thing is, as how can they say in a straight face, America's gonna have a hard time, and they getting trillions and trillions,
Yes.
trillions of
I keep
dollars
telling you, I'm about
between,
to take this money. Okay.
right,
I'm a
between
trillionaire, and y'all gonna have to suffer for it.
right, between November and now, they've gotten trillions and trillions and trillions, and they got the nerve to say that the people in California don't deserve help, and that it's going to be, come on now. That's what Scott Galloway, who was also $100 millionaire, he was going off on a cable show, and he was like, this is the beginning of a revolution, and not the one that people think about, not MAGA. It's about the other people, not a violent one. I would also say too that I was having a conversation with some people who were younger, and I was like, you know what? There need to be more conversations in the Black community and in the community of people who are under attack, or who are, being treated badly now and in the future. Make a list of all the social media. Make a list of all the technology, especially social media: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all these places.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how, but they make money from the devices that listens to you. Because sometimes I'll be on the phone talking about something, and then Google or something will pop it up, pop up like, some chips or whatever. I'm saying, oh, I might want, and they'll pop up. So they obviously listen to you.
Yeah.
I think that when we use these social medias for the next 4 years, we shouldn't use it for entertainment. We should, what I've heard is, if you're not promoting your business, I don't care if it's a law firm, if it's a soap and a supplement company that you have, or you made out of your home. Everybody in the Black community, if you're not up on social media promoting a business, then you shouldn't be on social media. You shouldn't be scrolling aimlessly. You shouldn't just be up there, because when you're up there, your eyes, your views, your energy, your scrolling, it gives more money to all these billionaires and zillionaires.
Yeah.
You log in, you wake up in the morning, you pray, meditate, whatever you do. Okay, now everything's turned off. I'm logging in to promote something, and then I'm logging out. I'm only going on these apps to make money. I'm never going to go up here just to, give these people more energy, give them more views, or be manipulated by them, or be upset about something. The people on TikTok, like we were talking about before, when you get up on these social medias, if you don't have your own something to promote when you're up there, then you won't be as devastated when you lose your views, your channels, of people who are crying, stuff like that. If you don't have some kind of business to bring to these platforms to promote, then make up one in 2025. Try to figure out what you want to do, whether it's a service or something like that, on top of the work you do. Whether you go, on a weekend. I like this conversation. I was hearing it from somebody here in New York City in this local TV show. And I thought it was very, very well. It's not for all communities. It's specific for communities under attack. Don't go aimlessly on these. Let me see what Cardi B doing, or my favorite rapper, or my favorite person, or the person who I think is cute is doing, like I do. I look at all the people, and I sit there for hours, and and just looking at stuff, and no more of that. It's just really gone up there to, if you don't have a business, think of one, and you promote, and then you log off. That's it. So that when you're up there, you actually, it's working for you. It's not you giving, you know, energy or giving money or anything like that. I think that might be the best thing to do.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I really do. Marie had said if you cannot find the movie, you can read the award winning book. Scholars are comparing what is beginning to happen to what is going on in Venezuela and a few other countries. And that is The Time of Butterflies. I'm going to look it up. Sounds interesting. Yeah. I mean, you know, personally, man, like I said earlier, I was saying earlier that, you know, I'm kind of scared, to be honest with you. Hey, Red Labels. Hey, Red. I do that now on X Twitter. I sign off immediately. We need to create our own. There is one called Fan Base that is black owned. The son of who's the singer with the bald head with the deep voice?
Mm.
You probably don't know.
Is he old?
I don't even think he's a. I think it's Isaac Hayes. I want to say
Mhm.
Isaac Hayes' son owns Fan Base,
Oh, okay.
and
Oh. I think I heard that.
black
Yeah.
owned, and even Roland Martin. If you listen to Roland Martin, he's always pushing it too.
Hmm.
So, yeah, Fan Base. I
Okay.
already downloaded the app, so I will be joining Fan Base as well. Um, I probably won't go back on to TikTok, you know, because TikTok too was funny because TikTok was also because didn't you just say this earlier? TikTok was also uh, sold out, or did I hear somebody else say it was sold out?
I,
Sold out.
I don't think they sold yet. I think that they just were
No,
manipulated by
sold
Trump.
the owner.
Hmm.
Oh, Christopher said he gave him $10 million.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, I was hearing rumors about TikTok. I wasn't on TikTok like that, but I would go on TikTok and I have tell the people over there, and but I wasn't on there a lot. But I had read I heard that someone said that you know, TikTok was slowing down the algorithms of Black content creators where they couldn't be seen. I guess
Hmm.
they slowed their algorithms down, or would literally, you know, time them out or shut them down. You
I'm
know,
hearing a lot on YouTube and other places too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, I didn't know they would do that, but they have been doing that. So a lot of people, a lot of Black content creators that was on TikTok came over to YouTube, especially when they were talking about politics or anything like that. They were basically shutting them down on
Hmm.
TikTok, and they were losing their Isaac Hayes. Yeah, they were losing their channels and stuff. So yeah, Isaac Hayes' son owns Fan
Fan
Base.
base.
Mm-hmm.
But yet again, that's just again, that's another proof in the pudding that that African American people have to work harder in America just to, you know, they on the same platforms as everybody else, but for some reason, you know, we getting, you know, what do you call it? Oh, I forgot what they call it, shadow banned, and
Yeah,
you know,
Shadow
we
Man.
we
Yeah.
we getting all these problems, and then people go up there crying about DEI. And I told you, and I remember you had a conversation. You know, we always have good conversation. I was like, Miss Sunny, I think I conclude, I don't give a damn if a person is on the street on Skid Row. If you're an African American person in this country and your film has been here for over a couple of 100 years, there is no such thing as a lazy African American. You cannot be lazy emotionally in America if you're African American, and you can't be lazy financially if you're African American in this country in the workplace. You just simply cannot. We work, you know, 300 times more than anybody else. And like I was telling you too,
I
you
will,
know,
I will, I will say the
yeah,
majority of us do.
yeah, you know
I
what?
see some lazy Black folks that I worked with.
I know, but you know what? But they not lazy emotionally, Miss Sunday. Like we go through a lot. Like you know, the simple fact is, somebody gets up in our skin and wake up in the wrong body, they probably want to unalive themselves. To be honest with you, they couldn't
Oh, I
handle
see
it.
what you're saying. Okay, yeah,
They could not handle it. They couldn't handle being a black person in this country. You know,
yeah.
they couldn't do it. It took us for whatever 100 years for us to be able to handle the burden that these people put on us and all that kind of crap. But yeah, I think that at the end of the day, and also, you know what I think too? I think that you know back in the old days in history of time, when people are trying to get their first home, start their first business. I'm thinking about I'm thinking about Altadena, there's communities out there in California being burnt down. They didn't want to go in those banks with the white people. They didn't want to go in there, but they had to. They went in there. They got dressed up and they got their first home. They got their first businesses. I think that's kind of what we're going through right now, unfortunately. That we are dealing with these apps and these places that are not for us because we're bringing money back to our families, basically.
You know what we have to do? We're going to have to do as a community of people of color is stop buying into white
integration.
Not integration. That's another story. But it is because I totally believe in that. So, but buying into these companies that are the white-owned companies, start buying Black, start allowing our money to generate amongst Black people, which we don't do. We talked about this before 3 years ago, we talked about our money circulating. Remember, me and Mary would talk about this for hours. We have to do that. Yeah. Everybody else does that. That's why Indian people or Asian people, their money circulates 7 times.
And and the Jewish people, I know they're controversial, but they brilliant, absolutely brilliant at the movie and just the way they have their whole oh my gosh, financial economy in the Jewish community. It's almost like a second economy in America, and how they've been able to do that for generations.
Yeah, I don't know. I've tried everything. I don't want to be stressed out and I don't want to stress people out, right? But I'm stressed. I never get stressed. I'm stressed out.
You know what? I think short of us running,
gets to him, this man will be in it tomorrow. I just want him to get in and get it over with.
Yeah. I think short of us running for the hills, we have to just take it day by day. That's it.
I mean, maybe tomorrow I'll feel better, different, but I am, going through the pause. So I'm going to be emotional.
Oh, ain't nothing wrong with that. It's we live in crazy times.
Yeah, very crazy, scary times. One day at a time. Yep, one day at a time, Christopher. Absolutely right. One day at a time. I don't know what else to say. Red Label has me cracking up though, because he said he got banned on Twitter for calling somebody a redneck.
Well,
he said a redneck fucker. But they can't say the N-word over there with the hard R. They don't block. They don't. But they do that over here. I've seen people's channels where they are saying the N-word like it's no tomorrow, and they do not. Nothing happens to their channel. They stay and keep them in the algorithm. It's like, but if you say something, you can't even say COVID. You know what I mean? It's just like, really? It's the crazy stuff.
You can't even talk about. You can. You know what I was going to say too. In some cases, you can't even talk about police brutality. How about that? You go into those spaces and you talk about the real facts of a case or something. You have all these problems and stuff. So yeah, it's crazy.
Who was marching yesterday? Really said, I was so mad at the few Black people that attended the march yesterday. Christopher says, I am not going to support the inauguration. My TV is off and my channel is ESPN, and I'm going to shut up and dribble.
Okay. Go ahead. I know that's right.
No, that's right. Because I'm not watching it. And I advise everybody not to watch it. Don't watch it. Don't give them any airtime. Let the MAGA people watch them. A lot of them are down there freezing their asses off. Let them stay out there. Let them go, because they're not going to be able to see him outside. They're going to have to go inside to a stadium. And I saw where one man was like, yo, I came all the way down here from Oklahoma. If I wanted to watch it on TV, I could have stayed home. Like, yeah, you should have stayed home.
Well, you know what? That man that said
honey.
Well, you know what? That man got 4 more years of being disappointed in the person he voted for, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here for that. I mean, I'm just emotional today. But yeah, I'm here for it. To be honest with you, I'm pissed. I am pissed off. And today I'm just a little bit emotional. I'm having a hot flash, and I'm just feeling like, you know what? I'm kind of scared. That's just my emotions today. But tomorrow I might be pissed off, and somebody might say something. I might just go ham, you know.
But I told you, listen, you know me now, because on YouTube I'm very politically correct, but off YouTube, I understand you very well. Yeah, I definitely, because a couple of times I went crazy a little bit, after the election. It's like, that's not myself, but yeah, it happens. This is, yeah, I don't know. I listen, unless you ain't hurt nobody, I say cuss them out. Do what you gotta do.
Well, here's my stance on JD Vance, because Christopher said exactly 4 years and JD Vance is the worst. JD Vance is the worst. He's an arrogant little prick. I think he's the devil. He's Beelzebub. If the blue-eyed devil. Did you see the new pictures that they put out that's going to hang in the White House?
No.
That dude's eyes so crystal blue. What I tell you, man, I said I don't think he's human.
Well, I remember I told, and listen, I don't get me lying about the Bible, because I don't know what. I don't know.
His eyes are so crystal blue, like a blue that you just blue, not like just like see-through blue.
Yeah, but remember I told you in Rosemary Baby, they didn't show it in the original picture, but when Mary looked in the crib in the book, the eyes were just that color, blue, 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 and that's why she screamed, said, "Oh my gosh!" Yeah, but it was So yeah, and I don't get me lying about the Bible, but in the Bible, I think they said Satan or one of the somebody that was not good, their eyes were very blue, very blue. So,
well, I would say this, and I've been saying it. Donald Trump, I don't think he's going to last 4 years. I believe that he might step down, because he is old. But then again,
which is funny, because they had a big issue this whole year about age, and oh my gosh,
that was all. But once again, Mel, we talked about it. They were playing mind games. You know what I'm saying? I don't really believe that Joe Biden thought that Kamala could win in 3 months, in 90 days. She did very well.
Yes, she did.
I personally believe that she won. I think Elon Musk had his little nasty hands and some technology stuff, switching up numbers, just enough, right, to win, to make it look obvious, so it wouldn't be so obvious. What gave it away for me was him winning the popular vote. So the popular vote. You didn't win you didn't win the popular vote the first time. Right. Hello, guys. Let me try to be quiet. You didn't win the popular vote the first time you were in office, and you won. So and all of a sudden you win the popular vote this time? That just doesn't add up to me. None of it adds up to me. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. So, the 75 or 70, I thought it was 77 million people won. Well, 48% of the people voted for Donald Trump. It was 48%. So that still is not half of America. Okay. I just don't believe this man won the popular vote. I don't believe he won this election. I don't. I think this election was stolen by Elon Musk. This is my opinion for entertainment purposes only. It was stolen by the alien, because he has that technology, that he got the space stuff, right? So yeah, he changing algorithms. He doing all kind of stuff. So he has access.
I believe that absolutely. He messing up everything.
Yeah. So I believe he has access to all of that stuff, and I think he changed the numbers just enough to make it seem like it was a fair election. So here's the thing. When you read Biden's alternate reality that was written by Jim Stewartson, he's right when he says, Joe Biden, nobody stood up. Because, here's my thing. I was just like, y'all not going to say anything? Kamala, come on, boo. You already know what it is. Joe Biden knows what it is, too. So why aren't y'all saying anything? Because Joe Biden feels we can't say anything. We want to hold on to this democracy and how we should behave, and say, He won fair and square and concede, and we're going to win like that. No, you're not. You are up against the devil. Play just like the devil. Be smarter than the devil. Play his game with him. You're sitting here, oh, we're never going back because the Pandora's boxes it's open. It's wide open now, and anybody can jump into the ring. That man literally sat there and told us when he was running in his campaign, all you have to do is vote for me this one time. I won't need your vote. The next 4 years. I just need it right now. Then it was times when he said, I really don't need your vote. He said it out of his mouth. He's a narcissist. He's telling you, I don't need your vote. I got Elon. Elon gonna do the job for me. And I'm sitting there saying, okay, is anybody? That's like telling me, a lot of these MAGAs, oh, that wasn't an insurrection. That was people they opened the doors for them to walk into the Capitol. I'm like, you trying to tell me what I'm seeing with my own eyes is not real? Because I know what I saw. So you trying to make me be stupid like you? Well, no, I'm not stuck on stupid. And I know what I saw. I sat right down with my family and we sit there and watch those people storm that Capitol. But you're trying to tell me that's not what happened. It was a day of love?
No.
And a woman got taken out from a day of love? Okay. That's not what it was. That's not what it was. Excuse me? Sometimes when you're in the chat, when you're in these
the spaces,
the spaces, and you're going in, and people are literally saying that was not an insurrection. It was not. I'm like, oh my God, people are that brainwashed. They are so brainwashed, and it's going to get worse. Now what? So now we're fighting for our lives, Christopher, for the midterms. And how many people are going to get out and vote? But you told me the other day, you have people come, oh my God, I shouldn't have did this and I shouldn't have voted for him. Now that he's saved, I mean, it's just a battle, right? So now he's over here saving TikTok when it was his idea in the first place to get rid of TikTok. Now he's saving TikTok. And we should just all bow down to Donald Trump because he's the best president in the whole wide world. And he saved TikTok. I don't make no damn money off of TikTok. But I understand it's 170 people that make, not all of them making money off of TikTok, but people are making money off of TikTok. Good for them. Kudos to them. And, I think that's great. But I also think that is bullshit. Period. And I'm not praising Donald Trump. That's not.
No, absolutely not.
Ass person. That ain't. Now I'm getting pissed off. You see how my emotions change? I'm not a shuck and jive kind of person. I'm just not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Don't knock on my door. Try to take my my amendments from me. Don't do that. I'm just not with it. I'm not. And yeah.
No, I was going to say, yeah, I agree with you. I was going to say too, what is the difference between voting for Donald Trump and voting for Charlie Sheen on his worst day, or voting for that guy who tried to, mess up Oklahoma or what, in 1993? These are the personalities that I put Donald Trump with. Years ago, we would have never entertained a personality like him in the White House. We had, the Republicans had such a major issue with Bill Clinton having an affair. So it's kind of crazy that, 30 or 20 years later, they, they decided they want to, this is the horse they want to back. They want to back this man. It is what it is. But again, the fight's not over. I don't think that people have to get out there and be sweating and climbing and doing that kind of stuff. But you definitely have to, talk to your local officials, and that's what we got to do for the next 4 years. Basically, that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, I'm not gonna roll over and just like this is what the norm is. I mean, it's crazy, but what can you do?
Well, like I said, if you all, because I do have another channel, there's going to be a podcast actually called sunny perspective, and it's going to be more positive things and to cool our minds and keep our blood pressure down. Talk about the positive things that that's going on.
Come on, listen.
It's going to be the opposite of what's political stuff. Just positive things and how people give back to the community here in Georgia.
Yeah.
I have a couple of friends that are in certain spaces where they give their time and they do a lot for the communities that they're in. So I will be interviewing them as well. So because I can't, like I said, I'll be here on Sunday, live on Sunday. That is my thing that I will be doing, staying consistent.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's true. I mean, I'll say this here. You remember I told you in a funny way. I said, Miss Sunny, my project 25 is romance. Because you remember I told you I put the guys in the dating on the whole for the last 3 years, basically. So I was like, you know what, this might be the year for me just to stop focusing on politics as deeply as I was, and try to focus on maybe find another husband kind of thing. We were joking. So that's again, people have to have good goals, vacations, romance, businesses, whatever, on top of staying connected with your local officials. I'm going to keep saying that. Join your local community boards, find out about your community, your board of election. I'm not watching Trump. I didn't watch him the first time he was in office all those years ago. I didn't watch him that one time. And I only watch YouTube channels, and I watch the news on occasion when he pops up. But I don't watch his full interview. I haven't watched it in over 10 years probably. Yeah, I don't expose myself to him. So yeah, I think that's what people got to do. To focus on the good stuff. If we're alive and we survive the pandemic, and we especially the Black community, we survive a lot of things. So yeah, we definitely know how to do this.
Yeah, we did. We survived a lot of things. We that's the one thing about us, is that we know how to get through the hard times and make things happen. Like I said, we can make a whole what I said, we can make a whole tomato soup out of one tomato. We're gonna make it work, and we'll be okay.
We made soul food from scraps. They gave us the
right. That's right.
Come
right.
on.
And now everybody eating oxtails.
Come on, and pig foot.
Oxtails right now. Everywhere you go is oxtail and a chicken wing.
Come on, man.
Always, and it was always, that's what was given to the slaves.
Yeah.
So, and they made it the best.
So, yeah, but listen, the people in the main house, like, what is going on out in the outhouse? Like, what are they cooking up? We smelling the flavors. Like, we not getting all the dry rice and the mashed potato sandwiches up here. We need some of those ribs, So, we definitely know how to. Yeah, we know how to. We survivors, but that's what you can say. We are survivors.
We are survivors. Stacey B said, any chance for American morality in politics is on delay for the next 4 years. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely, Stacey.
I agree.
It's been gone. It was gone when Donald Trump was put in office for his first time. It went out the window. And I can tell you, I used to have discussions with people, and before he was elected, and Donald Trump wasn't even running. And people would say that they hope Donald Trump wins. The people that were voting, no, he was running. And so people were saying, yeah, Donald Trump this, and he was saying all kind of negative stuff then. And I said, well, what would you do if Obama said something like that? Well, Obama, I don't expect for him to speak that way. You don't expect for him, but it's okay that Donald Trump speaks like that? Well, because he's Donald Trump. What? Like, it just didn't make sense then. And so now, here we are, 2025. You put this man back, he almost took you out when he was in office, okay, with his pandemic. And so now you put him back in office because eggs are too high.
And now he's saying he can't get the eggs back down.
Right. So he's talking about coming in. Soon as I get elected, soon as the election is over and I'm elected, I'm going to change the prices. The prices are going to get lower. Now he's saying on day one, prices will be lower for food, prices will be lower. All this stuff is going to be lower. The wars are going to stop. Russia and Ukraine are not going to, he's telling you all the things the great things he's going to do. As soon as he sat down, he won. Well, I don't know about those prices. I don't know if I'm going to be able to change those prices because that's hard to do. Right. Just like Red Label said, this first term, farmers lost money. They're going to lose money again because of tariffs. They're going to lose money. He's over here talking about taking Greenland. Greenland, I don't know how I call it Greenland, but Greenland. He's talking about taking, putting tariffs on Mexico, putting tariffs on Canada. To the point where the man in Canada is saying, this is economic war. So gas is going to get higher, right? He going to drill, baby, drill.
I think you may have an infield reporter with Mr. Christopher because he got the same idea as you when it comes to taking pictures of the eggs. He said he want to take pictures of the eggs and the gas and see what they had in 6 months. Remember, you said you want to do that with Aldi. You was going to keep on.
I went to Aldi's and the eggs. I went to Aldi's literally. The eggs, the eggs that were 47 cents. Remember, if you ever had shopped at Aldi's, there used to be eggs that were 47 cents. During the pandemic, they went up, right, to like $1.71. Then it went to like $2 and something. So I go there, 3 weeks ago, and I walked. I was like $3.40 something cents, I think it was, and I was like, not the 47 cents eggs. That's $3. So I took a picture of it and I put it on my community tab, and people were commenting on it. Like some people said, "Oh yeah, the eggs here where they live was like $4.99." I'm like, damn. Still hasn't gone down because there's a bird flu. That's what they're saying. Now here in Georgia, couldn't find any eggs. No brown eggs, anyways. I like brown eggs. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. My grandfather had chicken. We had chicken that laid white eggs too. I don't know why I like the brown eggs. To me, I just don't know. In my mind, I'm thinking that the brown eggs was more, it doesn't have chemicals in it or whatever, but they all do. They're all the same. It's just the color of the chicken, I believe, or the food that it eats. So yeah, I couldn't find any brown eggs. No brown eggs anywhere. And barely found eggs at all. Stacy said a pack of 5 chicken breasts at Aldi's last week was $14. One single ribeye steak was $17. Just simply said the eggs I normally buy, $5.69 were sold out. I had to pay $7.99 for eggs. There will not be a massive portion, only a minor one. Yes, Christopher, absolutely. So all the lies that he was saying, because you can't just, I must tell you right now, Donald Trump talked a big game. And what's going to happen is these people are going to be disappointed. You're going to have people on one hand saying, you know what? I thought it was going to be a mass deportation. No, just like you said, it's not, because those farmers need those illegal workers. They need them there. Or workers that have, they come in with a visa, then they leave back out. Like a little small, like a work visa, like how many months or something like that. I think that's how it is. Don't quote me because I don't know. But they do have a pass where they can come in and work and then they go back to Mexico. But you have, those people need to work. They need to have them. Who's going to work? I'm not doing it. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay? Get those people who didn't want the Hispanic people here. Get those people. Those lazy people who did not want the Hispanic people here working because they are, taking their jobs. Well, get your butt out there. You pick those oranges in California, if they have any left. I don't know, since it's burning down to the ground, right? And that's a whole nother story. That is a whole child. When I tell you, boy, oh boy, it is something going on that is wicked. And these people who have all this money are playing. They are pissing on your leg and they are telling you that it is raining outside. Y'all better stay woke, woke, woke. This is why they don't want you to be woke.
Yeah, but you see, for me, maybe you can tell me if I'm missing this, but I was listening to people talk about the fall of Rome and revolutions and history. You know that there are times when society, not always, people will ask a question when somebody in their family passed away, when they can't pay for medical stuff back in different times and famine or whatever, and they'll ask, why in the hell am I listening to this king or queen in this time with my family, my property, and my homes? I'm filled with all type of problems. Why am I listening to them? And they revolt. They run up to the castle. They run up to places because mentally, it is all an illusion. There's no way in hell that a handful of men can control billions of people around the globe. It is not even possible. But yet in our minds, we go, oh, I'm gonna allow these people to convince me on Tuesday that this is right, and on Thursday change their mind. I'm gonna allow them to make trillions and trillions of dollars while the price of everything else in the world is going up. I'm gonna allow them to say that these people are the enemy this day, and then I'm gonna allow them to trick me and say this is the other thing. I think at a certain point, that like Scott Galloway was saying, people will be like, wait a minute, why am I listening to these people? I'm not going to say it's going to be like the January 6th, but at the end of the day, even with the Luigi thing, you were talking about it. You pay into your insurance, okay, your health insurance, and let God forbid you think of it as a savings account. Don't think of it that way, because when you have an issue and they decide that you fell within the cracks and you're not covered by this, that's it. That's all for you. But you can't go to them and say, give me a refund of all the years I've gotten that. Then people would get mad. So, if people woke up, if hundreds of millions of us woke up and said, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to be moved this way. I'm not going to go. If we all became Rosa Parks and it was colorless, it had no color. We just decided I'm not moving anymore. I'm just not moving. I'm not being manipulated. I'm not being tricked anymore. It wouldn't matter how many trillions of dollars they got, because the people would just roll up and just say, no, I'm taking this money back. Listen, I mean that, I know that's controversial to say on YouTube, but I'm not suggesting it. But a big revolution I feel like it's coming, and I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. I don't think it's going to be MAGA. I think it's going to be, why are we allowing a handful of people to basically destroy the whole planet? Like I told you, there was a movie called Total Recall where, and I think actually Elon Musk loves this movie, where the richest people in the world were able to live in the globe, and everybody else lived in toxic air, and everybody else was filled with all type of cancers because the air was so polluted, and you had to have hundreds of millions of dollars to live in the globe. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sharon Stone was in the movie, and that was the future. Even everything was artificial. There was no sun and no water. And this is what the world was, and and I think that I don't think people will. I think that people will probably revolt. They probably will revolt and not want to do it.
Well, I agree. I do agree with you. I think that there will be a revolt. I think that's what's going to happen. Here's my only problem with that, or issue, is that Donald Trump will have the power to go and say, you know what, send out the military on them.
Yeah, but can I say this?
Remember the last time the general, I don't know his name, said that Donald Trump literally wanted, on Black Lives Matter, he wanted to send out people and take them out in the street.
Yeah, so this is what I think too. I think this. I hope, listen, okay, this is why it gets a little complicated on YouTube. My prayer is, if there ever is a revolt, that people would be smart enough to be big enough, to be bigger than the military. I mean, I'm talking about millions and millions and millions. I'm not talking about just hundreds of thousands. I'm talking about millions of people just having a total awakening of all races, of all ages, and being so big that no military on this planet could even mess with them. I actually think people in the government would probably, turn against them too. I think people in the military would turn against him also. Like, I'm really feeling the way that they are manipulating everybody, not caring about other people. I think people in all, parts of the government and society is definitely, getting angry with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to be angry. But we said that. And this is why I said I don't think he's going to make it. Now, Christopher said he ain't going to make it 2.5 years because JD Vance is going to be the one. Just saying. He just said that. Sherry said there is so much going on. They are distracting us from something. Yeah, they are. It's called aliens. I mean, yeah, they are. General Mark Milley resisted Trump's call for violence. Yep. Yeah. So that's why when you get someone like Pete Hegseth, right? Because isn't he taking General Mark's place?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So Pete Hegseth is just a yes man. And Cherie, I don't know. When I saw TikTok the last day, I saw this girl who was talking about, and Bethany Frankel is talking about it too, about the drones and stuff that's flying over New Jersey and New York, and they're orbiting. So they have all these orbs and stuff coming from them in different colors, and they're going around, and it was like, what the hell is going on? Because I got caught up in that, looking at that, like Mel said, honey, you can't just get caught. When you go on, make sure you have a business and you're logging in and putting your business out there. Don't even get caught up. And I was like, so when I talked to Mel, I said, have you seen any drones or space stuff going on? I was like,
No, I ain't seen no drone, no alien.
But Bethany Frankel, they call it Dior TikTok or whatever. So because they were being shadow banned for talking about the drones and the orbs that's going around in New York, and they claim that everybody's seeing them. You can't believe everything everybody says, right? But I do believe in other life in other planets. I believe that. I just don't think that we are here alone. I do believe there are people aliens walking amongst us, i.e. Elon Musk. I just believe that. I've been believing that for years. And did you know that Mark Zuckerberg is only 5'7"? I didn't know that. I thought he was taller than that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I thought he was taller, but he's only 5'7".
Wow.
It just kind of shocked me. I don't know, maybe it's his long face or something. I just thought the dude was taller than that. I'm serious. I thought he was at least 6 feet. When I was like, how tall is he? Oh, he's 5'7". He's a little dude. Which
yeah, you know what? Which I guess I'm gonna drop down, which goes right back to the title of your show, The Revenge of Nerds. Because when I think about that movie that had the same title, which was ahead of its time, it was before all the computer stuff. They were beaten up by the jocks, basically beaten up by the people who were more physical, look different and more athletic and all that. And they wanted to get them back. And in the real world, we have Elon, we have Mark, we have Jeff Bezos. These are all people who are very nerdy, who are very into their computers. And now they basically, want to dominate the world. And they don't care about, humankind in the most part. It's like, I think most of their policies is wake up at 5, work for minimum wage, be scared all the time, like, damn.
Yeah, it's just so much going on, right? So just like you said, we are being distracted. We were distracted by Luigi.
And the drone.
That was our first. That was first we were distracted by the drones. Then we were distracted by Luigi, who I still don't believe is the shooter. I just don't believe that. For whatever reason, that's my opinion. I don't believe it. They found some good-looking dude and said, "Oh, that's the dude." And the way they showboated this boy, walking him across the thing with 20 police officers and the ATF and the FBI, everybody taking him like he was the biggest manhunt, like he was just out taking everybody out. I found it very interesting. Okay, so I don't believe he's the one. I just don't believe it. Because you don't know who did it, because who did take the executive out was, you never saw his face. Okay. And they could plan anything on you. So that's my opinion. Christopher said the sad thing is the administration could lie and say that all dark-skinned people are aliens. Folk will lose their mind and start killing one another. Yes, yes, yes. And start killing one another. Critical thinking is key, people. Exactly. We need to slowly stack up on necessities, water, canned goods, toiletries, medicine, batteries, etc. That's what I said, Stacey. And get you some gas masks. I've never been, I'm just saying. Yeah, so y'all follow me at Sunny Perspective. Yeah, absolutely. I was telling my husband that stock up on canned goods, toilet paper, everything. Seriously, because just as Christopher said, the sad thing is this administration could lie, because they're known for lying, right? Because they've already put out there that the Haitians were eating the cats and the dogs, and all the people that's coming over from Mexico, all the Hispanics. You got they really have people thinking that Mexican people over here committing crimes. That's not true. Undocumented immigrants that come here do not commit crimes at high rates. They just don't. And that's a proven fact. But Donald Trump is going to get in there and he's going to be spreading that bull crap. And people are going to be scared for their lives. Who knows what he'll say when he gets because his cult is already brainwashed. They're already way over here, gone, right? Mind just blowing in the wind. They're done. So brain fried, it's over for them. They need to be deprogrammed. And that's on period. So yeah, so follow me at Sunny Perspective. I will be, like I said, talking about more positive things, having Cherie said my comment is not related to Christopher's. Oh yes, people still really believe this crap, that crap. Related to Elon. Yeah. I understand. While we talk on Sunday Perspective, I'll be talking about more positive things and things that we just clear our minds and just focus on the positive that's happening in our communities. It'll be nothing negative. We might talk about some funny things. It's just a podcast. Okay. Over here, I will continue to talk politics. I will be going live on Sundays, talking about what's happening in 2025 in the Trump administration until I get the knock at the door. So, the white van or the black van come to pick me up, I guess. I don't know. But we're not going to let that happen. Knock on wood. So, who knows, honey? The code is gone mentally. Yes, they are gone. They are gone. Because I know I'm in the blog sometimes. I'm on certain blogs and I'm just going in. Sometimes I'm going off on people on IG. And literally, I'm surprised. I get warnings from IG all the time too. So I'm like, child, who cares? But I go hard in the paint. I get real nasty. I was like, why did you say that? Because, somebody say Michelle is a man one more time.
Yeah, I think for me, I agree with you. I think my trigger was just making him a savior. I just, for me, that was the thing that made me go a little crazy. It was Twitter. And on Twitter, they have different, I guess, audio options where people come in and they just sort of talk whatever. And I happened to hit one of those things, and it was all guys. Guys there, very conservative, and I just went crazy. I went absolutely crazy. So it is what it is. But yeah, I have those moments too. I definitely do. If I God put me somewhere, or the universe put me there, and I'm listening, I get triggered. I go crazy. I didn't understand why, you know, I don't like this idea that, he can come on television and he'll do it and he'll say, everybody, this is the new problem. I'm trying to do something in Washington, and this is the person, they live here, or this person is this, and this is the problem. And that to me is so stupid. Like, the citizens, we're not here to solve the problem. We elect these people to solve the problem. He always rely on his, like the audience said, his cult members to rally up and to support him and to overturn. And no, you're supposed to go into office to take down the stress of the people who voted for you, not to make the stress go through the roof, whatever. So that part was really my issue with these supporters. Like, I'm hearing them like, we got to protect them, and they after him for this and that. I'm like, I had to call and say, wait a minute, what's going on? He's not a baby. He's a grown man.
Right.
Nobody needs to protect him. We are American people. We're supposed to be protected. They're supposed to be protecting us.
Right.
So, anyway, but I didn't say it as nicely as I'm saying it now. I actually was cussing and going crazy.
Right.
Yes, I went absolutely insane. I went nuclear. I was, it was so funny. There was a lot of people there and they all were conservative. They didn't vote like I did. And they were talking, they were making fun of this and making fun of that. And when I got there, they all went on mute. They went mute. And I was just going off for 20 minutes. And then the host said, oh, thank you. You liven it up. I said, I said, I'm effing mad. I really went crazy. I went absolutely crazy. So that, again, like I said, when I call him a Sunny show, I'm not gonna be acting a fool, but in different other spaces, yeah, I definitely go crazy. I go crazy.
Yeah. I told you how I went off on the man in the restaurant. It's like, even Friday we went out and I was like, my husband was underneath the table, like patting me on my leg, like, let's not talk about it because somebody brought up politics. And so he just patted me on like, don't. Because I was like, okay, I won't say anything. Because I get triggered real quick. If you say something about Michelle Obama or you say anything about Kamala Harris not being smart, I'm going to have a problem. And I'm just going to let you have it. I don't care. I said, this is it. 2025.
Yeah.
Hopefully you get a good day.
But don't you think, for me, what I think the issue is too? You can tell me if I'm wrong. You know what I think too? Most of us, like me, you, and people like us, millions, 70, whatever million vote for, we dealt with this crap for 15 years. They've been complaining ever since Obama got in office. And Miss Sunny, I'll tell you this. I don't go around cussing people out unless I have to. But for a long time, we all kind of sat around and we dealt with it. We were civilized and, we didn't deal with it. But now, after we dealt for almost 20 years, you won this election, this corrupt, insane election. You got it. Why aren't the MAGA people more, American, more nicer, more, we got what we want? They still miserable. So I think that when you're miserable and you cheated, it's like double exposure for me. I can't be nice anymore. I'm definitely gonna, every chance I get, I'm gonna excuse my French, I'm gonna whoop their ass. I'm gonna whoop their ass. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Absolutely.
It's like laughing in your face, like you talked about this Roseanne Barr song.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
And she running around with her braids in her hair like she Bo Derek or somebody, and then singing out, y'all lost, get over it. You get over it. You won. You're still angry. Why are you angry? You know why they're angry? Because they know deep down inside that they effed up, and they just did it because they didn't want this woman, right? This one brown woman taking office. They sold their soul, and they know they did. They know that they did. So now they just pissed off. Because they already know gonna come back in and he's gonna mess it up for them. They're not gonna have any money. They're no eggs. Ain't gonna be no chickens. It ain't gonna be no steak they can afford. They know that. And Elon Musk standing over there by him, and they know they don't like Elon Musk either. See, that's the thing. And now you have oh boy, what's his name? Steve Bannon going head to head with Elon Musk. Because see, most of those people stand with Steve Bannon. Right? Because they look at Steve Bannon as being a regular dude because he appeals to that sector because he is the one who made pretty much gather this sector together.
Yeah.
Remember, dude, these are QAnon people. These MAGA people, those are QAnon people, right? So Elon Musk, they're looking at Elon Musk like, okay, thank you for paying for Donald Trump and getting him and being able to make him president again. But I'm gonna need you to step aside, bro. You doing too much. You know, I don't want you here. You don't relate to me. And you know, my chickens passing away because they have the bird flu. I can't get out here. You're taking away my Mexican people that pick my oranges and help me slaughter these cows or whatever. Okay? They're pissed off and they don't like Elon Musk. But they like Steve Bannon. And Steve Bannon is going head to head because he don't like Elon Musk. And what Steve Bannon is trying to do, here's another distraction, Cherie, if you're still here. Is he trying to play on the emotions of Black people? Now, and this is how slick these suckers are. Because he keeps bringing up racial issues and Black this and Black that. Steve Bannon is doing that and calling and talking about Elon Musk. You know, you're trying to take the jobs from the Black people. I'm going to need Steve Bannon to sit his elephant man face down somewhere because he's full of crap. Okay? Mold up face ass man. I cannot stand that man. The man is a racist. And he can sit up here. These people they are the worst kind of racists. They will smile in your face and call you the N-word behind your back.
But they cowards, absolutely.
And they will do that all day long. And Steve Bannon is one of those people. Believe it.
Yeah, I believe. Listen, you know what I think too? I think that, I agree with you. I think that also back to Roseanne, I think that, I'm glad she was canceled. And, you know, I think she's angry because her plastic surgeon was didn't work. You know, I think the woman needs a whole boatload of breath mints. She looks, you know, miserable and terrible. But you know, again, the MAGA people was like, you know, get over it. And I'm thinking, you know, it was a time in this country where Bush, there was this thing called the Chad. You know, the Chad, there was this missing Chad, and there was a whole scandal for a little bit about who won the election. Was it Al Gore? Was it Bush? It was a whole thing. When all that happened, it was Florida. I believe Florida had this whole issue with the Chad. When it was all over, it was over. You know, the Democrats lost, and we moved on, and we had Bush. It didn't feel this way.
Well, we had George Bush. No, it wasn't this way.
No, but I had a conversation with people who didn't understand it. It was like, you know, I just met. I said, no. Actually, if you go
to like this until Obama became president.
Yeah, but if they went to the history books and they realized that they were recounting the votes, and there was a missing Chad, and it was months and courts and things, and it was a bitter thing. We did go down that road, but again, it was in a way I want to say it was like it was sportsmanship to it. You know, it was like this is the way it is. You know, we did get Clinton out, we did impeach him, we did do these things to him, and then so the people have to really understand where we were at that time. They impeached Clinton, and then Al Gore was supposed to come in to sort of come in to save everything, and then they end up, you know, that election. So people were angry, but it wasn't this way. At the end of the day, Americans was like, okay, you know what? It's over. You know, we didn't like it, but it's over. Even when Trump won the first time, we was in a state of shock, but it wasn't like, you know, once we realized what he was about, we realized that he was a national terrorist. So that's why people, even on the View and other places, like, oh, this is just election. This is totally different. Totally different.
We're not in the. That's why I said we have opened up. Well, they have opened up Pandora's box. We're no longer. You can't sit and say, "Oh well, we're going to save democracy. Just bend over and take it, Kamala." You know, the people have voted. That's just like that girl on The View. The same girl that was set up there with Donald. She worked for Donald Trump. She was one of his. I can't remember her name.
I think her name is Alyssa or something.
Okay. So she didn't vote for Donald Trump, so she said she didn't. I don't know if she did. Right. But, you know, and she was all against Donald Trump and everything that he stood for. Now she sits up there and she said, well, 75 million people spoke and they voted for him. They voted for him. But what you're doing is you are normalizing this man. This is not normal.
No.
I don't care if he had 80 million votes. It's not normal. You cannot sit here. I was literally screaming at the freaking phone because I was watching it on my phone. I was screaming like, girl, this is not normal. Are you crazy? Stop normalizing him. And that is the problem.
That's the problem.
So CNN normalized him. MSNBC normalized him. The mainstream media normalizes Donald.
I think they played him too much too.
Every time. They did it the first time.
Yeah.
They did it because you know why? Because they don't give a shit about us. That's why. All they care about is making money and having freaking ratings. Yeah. That's what it's about to them. That's why they did it. They were glad Donald Trump won. You know why? Because they're going to get ratings every time somebody talk about this old geezer. That's what it is. They don't give a crap ass about the American people. They can sit up, all of them, they can sit up there. Oh, look at Donald Trump. Look at Donald Trump, blah, 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 blah. They are happy that he won.
And that's why their ratings went down too.
Show for the next 4 years. And God forbid somebody try to take him out. Oh my God, it's going to be ratings going to be so doggone high. They're going to be just the happiest that they don't know what to do with themselves because that's all they care about is ratings.
Yeah.
That is it. They don't care about us. That's why people leaving mainstream media because all the stuff is lies.
That's right.
The same way. And I agree with Donald Trump on that now. It's fake media. It's fake news. It always has been fake news. Y'all know that. We know that. When they used to go after black people, they will always show black people being, the center of the crime. If it had something to do with crime, it was always the black man. You got to stay away from the black man. They always show that. They always focused on that. It's bull crap. And this is why when Donald Trump says it's fake news, yeah, he ain't lying. It is. It's fake news. It's fake news. They want ratings. The media is the reason why black people today, especially black men today, have issues with people looking at them and thinking that black people commit most of the crime. Why? Because of the media. They like all that stuff because they make money.
That's true.
That's why they wanted they wanted Joe Biden to step down. They were okay with Joe Biden just can't. I don't believe he's going to be able to win this. Oh my God, he stuttered. He just did this and he blah, 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 blah. And everybody over here that was in this chat, I don't care if Joe Biden, you got to roll him in with slobber coming on the side of his face. I'm voting for Joe Biden.
You remember I told you, I said, I don't care if he was in a coma on life support. I was going to be voting for him over Trump. Absolutely.
Everybody said that.
Absolutely.
Everybody said, and I was just saying, I said, Joe Biden probably could have won had not Nancy Pelosi came in. But we sitting here, they got us all hyped up. Didn't they get us hyped up? They got us hyped up. We were hyped up. Hyped up. Oh my God. Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris. We just knew she was going. I knew deep down in my heart that this woman was going to win. You couldn't tell me that she wasn't. You can't tell me that she didn't. Yeah, everybody was voting for Joe Biden. Chris said I was going to vote for Joe even if he was in hospice.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we were voting for Joe Biden.
Absolutely.
So the media played the biggest role. And when I watched Joe Biden and he stuttered, and I said to myself, they could have just said, you know what? You know why Joe Biden? Because Joe Biden is a good man. Somebody should have stood up and said, Joe Biden literally is running this country and he's doing a damn good job. He stutters. We know that. And we understand that. That's nothing new. Okay. He got confused because he wanted to cuss Donald Trump's ass out on that doggone stage. That was plain and simple to me. He stuttered and he got this, and he had to change because he had to remember where he was. That's why he did it. Didn't we say that? I said, no, he just got confused because he know Donald Trump is lying. He want to cuss his ass out. And I said, go ahead and do it, Joe. See, Joe ain't going to do that. That wasn't in Joe because Joe had to, plus he's just been flying everywhere trying to keep up. He's 80 freaking years old. Donald Trump is 80 years old. He losing his mind. Giving the doggone microphone head. What, you know what I'm saying? This man is child by. I just can't do it. This is the media played the biggest role in the downfall of the Democratic Party. And now they
But, you
want
know, and then, but the funny
the
part
biggest
is
role
too.
in the madness.
But I think the funny part is too that they were whining and complaining like, oh my gosh, our ratings went down. For me, when she lost, so I went to the same news media that I was going to for the whole year, and I was getting information about where to go, what to do, who to call, it was all this big. I was addicted to it, and then when she lost, they turned on her. They was
Yeah.
like, oh, she was this, she was that. So the funny part was then before Joe and his wife went to Trump, the ratings went down for that time. The ratings was going down. So they said, okay, we got to do something. The ratings went down because people were hurting, people were angry, people were depressed. I didn't go back to NBC since. I showed you this woman today who I love, Miss Tabitha. I get my information from Tabitha, some other places, but I don't go to the cable channels anymore because I saw at that moment that how could you love her so much that Monday before the election, and then on Wednesday say, okay, you know what,
Right.
she shouldn't, you know what they said, she shouldn't have Megan, oh my gosh, the rapper, she shouldn't have Beyonce. They would just, I said, you know what, that I mean, something I said this time, I said, you know what, I'm out. I turned it off because when they start blaming Beyonce and them, and compared to a criminal, I was gone.
Right.
I turned it off. I turned it off.
They normalized him.
Yeah.
Wasn't
And vilified the black woman again.
and vilified the black woman. Oh, she shouldn't have did this, and she messed up here. No, my gosh, she shouldn't have been this. She shouldn't have said this.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump sit there on stage
And gave a blow.
Yes.
Played with the microphone.
Simulation with the microphone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Saying all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But y'all laugh at that, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
He had Hulk Hogan tearing off his shirt, but that's okay. Y'all had all these you had all these famous people. What the y'all have famous people too.
It was in the hit.
Reality star up there.
They were all D-list, that's for sure.
They all, but I'm just saying, you voting in a reality TV personality.
Yeah.
He's a personality. He's not a businessman. He's a personality. That is all he is. He is nothing. And he's a felon. You know what? It's a slap in our face. That's what that is. And that's why, most of those people in the media are Trump supporters. I had to tell somebody, I had to tell
that's
somebody.
true. Yeah.
People who own those station, those TV networks, they are Trump supporters.
Yeah, I mean,
they are Trump supporters.
I mean, you know what? I knew that too. Look, I mean, we don't go to detail, but when we heard about Tamara Hall, it was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Because she. Okay, so this is the thing too, and I'm really going to drop down because I know it's getting late. I got to get up. She has a platform. I feel like every person in our community, black, brown, women, gay, whatever you were, and you already know, I talked to you behind the scene about how I feel about some people who turned the other direction. But if you had a platform, it was your responsibility, even if all you wanted to do was talk about, paternity tests and bad marriages, whatever else, then the rumors came out that you had an alleged relationship. She, as a black woman, should have put more political things on that show that was helping the audience understand what was going on. This was a time when we all had to educate people, that we all had to stand up. We couldn't just sort of play as it was normal, and I think that she dropped the ball and because, like you said, maybe because she knew him personally and believes in what he stands for. And at the end of the day, a lot of these people on these TV shows focused on ratings and money. And, it was an eye opener. And again, the reports came out too, that at the Kamala Harris, the people who was working for Kamala Harris, not because of her, but because the people around, it just all seemed corrupt at the end of the day. All of it seemed corrupt. And you know what? And we haven't talked about this tonight. I'm not too happy with the Democratic Party at the moment either, to be honest with you. I'm going to vote for them always.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with them either because I don't feel like they are more. They're not as cutthroat as I need them to be. They're not as smart as I need them to be. They're not really getting with the technology as much. They represent us, and they're not doing a good job. They have time to heal, but they need to be a little more entertaining and a little more cutthroat, a little more smarter. So I'm not really happy with Democrats. I'm going to vote for them no matter what. But I'm disappointed in them too.
Yeah, they need to step it up. And that's what I said. I said, cuss this man out. Get up on the stage and act, you got to meet him where he at, baby. You can't sit up here. Oh, we got to have right. And now you have a head and our noses turned up to the sky high and act like we're just better. And that's the thing. And that's what people are not saying. We don't relate to the Democratic Party anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I don't.
You're not, with us because people, Americans are like Donald Trump. Let's be real. People curse. People, out here talking to women crazy. A lot of these men, this is just the red pill stuff. And I said she should have took a behind on that doggone Joe Rogan show. Everybody said she didn't have to go to Joe Rogan. She should have went to Joe Rogan. That is my opinion. She should have sat down with Joe. Joe, and I don't like Joe Rogan. I don't listen to Joe Rogan, but she should have sat down with Joe Rogan, had a conversation, talk to him like that's my homeboy. Let me drink this whatever with you, Joe. Let's talk about it. Yeah. What you want to know? We might not agree, but we can have this conversation. You got to be relatable to these people. These people seem like they are more relatable to Donald Trump. A lot of men, whether you right wing or left wing or middle of the road, a lot of people like Donald Trump because they look at him as just being himself and being real. That's what he has portrayed. He leaned up on the doggone thing. People calling people all kind out their name. People like that because they think that's just him. He's normal. He can say that. He's not stuck up. They relate to him. He's relatable to a lot of people. 75 million, right? And a lot of men who did not vote for Kamala Harris. You have to be relatable when it comes to these people.
I was thinking, so I'm not really that deep knowledgeable when it comes to misogyny is strong in a nation as strong or stronger than the racism. We are black. We are back in the struggle. Martin Luther King Jr. calls from his grave, justice for all. No justice, no peace. No war between peoples, no peace between classes. Okay, what was this? Grove Dragon. Groove Dragon. Mm-hmm.
Is it Dragon?
Yeah, I believe it's Dragon. I can't see the full name here. Yeah, Dragon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Groove Dragon. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being here. Like this, if you haven't subbed to my channel, I think you are sub. Thank you for subbing and like this. Yeah. So it's
But you know what I think too. So that was really good. I was going to say.
Hold on. Joe Rogan used to be a Bernie Sanders guy. She could have reminded him of that. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said they got to get out here. We can't be playing these games. We can't because, like I said, Pandora's box is open. You can't drag people backwards. They're not. She said we're not going back, then we're not going back. So let's move forward. Next time somebody say something, get up in their ass. Oh, this is how. Get up on that stage and have a real debate like they do in Europe when they up in there and going in cussing each other out. Cuss them out. That's what y'all want to hear. That's what it's going to be then. Y'all need to get somebody up in there that's really going to sit there and stand it foot down. You can't have your nose turned up and people can't even buy eggs since they complain about eggs so much. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that since
she like the word fuck, then she should have been saying, fuck this orange clown. That's what she should have said.
So the issue I have that I've seen, and it's not research, but it seems like in the Democratic Party, they got most of their ideas from, and it's not a problem, from college, PhD level kind of people, which is cool. So, but they were very mannered. So in the think tanks, in the campaign areas, there weren't people in there like Miss Honey or like other people who had ideas. That's why I'm telling people who are like sad or scared now, please creep into those think tanks, please, because that's where we're needed at. We need to get our ideas in there. Although the Kamala Harris, the worker said, I felt marginalized. I felt like I was not listened to, not because of her, but because the people that was around, they said, this is how we've done it for the last 40 years. You see, we've done it this way. It's a machine to it. And if you're a candidate, we're going to put you into a room for 2 months and we're going to train you how not to be how not to react, how not to be human, how to be a teacher, how to be a professor. I think that, what is it? Marianne Williamson, she talks about big money, that the money, on both sides, they paid hundreds of $1 billion for each candidate. And in order to get that money, you have to be a certain character. You got to kind of pretend to be this sort of a person with no personality. You got to be very safe. But I think that They're working now in the Democratic Party to try to get away from big money so that real personalities can enter these different races and really talk the way that people need to talk. Because if you go in there and go, well, that's not good, or he, and no, I don't know if you got to use all profanity, because I'm studying different people, and there are real people out here of all ages and sizes and all genders and all that kind of stuff who are really talking the talk, and I'm really living for them. If those people got into these races, they would eat Donald Trump ass up alive. And they would eat all those other people up alive, because they're not worried about people pulling the money out of their campaign.
Right.
We need more real citizens in these different places. That's why I beg people all the time, and I say to people all the time, don't let these 4 years go away and not go to your local board of election, go to your local community boards, because people like us need to be in those spaces. Don't let them push you out. Even though you vote the same way that they do, they want to push you out because you're not like what they've done for the last 40 years. It's not, they Democrats, but they don't want a person coming in there like Bernie Sanders or people with fresh ideas. They want the sort of the same thing. They're already saying, oh, we came so close, so we're going to continue to do what we've always done. I don't know.
I don't do that. It's not working.
Thank you, Miss Sunny.
We're past that now. We're past that door 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So that, we can't sit up here and be like, oh, we're sitting high and looking low. Michelle Obama said, okay, 4 years ago, I said, when they go low, you go high. You can't do that anymore. You got to meet them where they are. And that's what it is. Meet them where they are. She should have met him where this fool over here talking about Asian people over here eating cats and dogs. That's crazy. It was just, I knew she wasn't going to, look, I voted for the woman. I went and I knocked on doors for the woman.
Yeah.
But something in me was telling me they're not relating to her. I don't know what it is. Like, she's not, it's like something that's not clicking. But I still believe she won, because I believe people went out there, they wanted her to win. I was sitting in, when I went to go see her speak, I was sitting next to a woman, a white lady, who the black woman sitting on the other side of me was like, she don't look like she should be over here. Look like she out here scoping things out. That woman was there because she wanted to see Kamala Harris, and she was voting for Kamala Harris. Period.
Mm-hmm.
She was cheering. She was like, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. It was a lot of women there. Nevertheless, a lot of them didn't show up.
At the end of the day, Americans, they want to be entertained. They want to be entertained. They don't want to be talked down to, which I don't think that, for me personally, from people I talk to, I never felt talked down to from Democrats. That's not my issue. But they want to be entertained. They want to have a good time. They want to have a good time in politics. So if somebody comes out, a man, me and you already had this conversation. It's not even popular.
Look how JD Vance called her trash.
Mm-hmm.
She's trash. Like, you little dweeb of a, oh my God, I could just say so much. Look, I could say so much about that man. I'm not even gonna go there right now. But it's like, that's why I said Kamala Harris should have came out. Even what's his name? I thought her pick for Governor Walz, I thought he was good. I thought he was relatable, And some people like, nah, he just seems weak. No, he's related. People relate to him. They honestly relate to him. I think, but he did show a form of weakness, right? Because Donald Trump, look at him crying like a cry. It was just so nasty. I was like, these people are so freaking nasty. Just unbelievable how nasty they are. And I think if they would have got down and dirty with them, if they would have rolled up their sleeves and said, oh, okay, this is what we doing. Let's go. Let's get in the ring and let's box it out.
That's right. It was like a wrestling.
Yeah, it should have been that.
It was like
they're weird. No.
It was a wrestling match that the Trump people came to, and the Democrats came and said, you know what? I don't believe in wrestling. I don't believe in no. The American people love that kind of stuff. So you got to get in the ring. You got to, But
it should have been to me, it should have just been a fight. You need someone like what's his name? The strategist, the Democratic strategist. I can't even think his name right now. Who got Bill Clinton elected?
Oh, I forgot his
James
name.
Carville. Now, James Carville will cuss you out in a heartbeat. You need someone like a James Carville on your campaign telling you what to do and how to go about it. That man don't play. And see, that's, you have the young people, because everybody wants to be sophisticated. And I understand that, and that's fine and dandy. But when you up against the devil, you have to be there. You got to meet him right where he is. Period. We just didn't do that. And this is why, they're saying that she lost. Okay. 75 million people came out. Okay. She didn't lose by many, though, is my whole point.
Yeah, no, that's right.
People off their behinds who did not vote to vote for her. If she would have went in there, guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
You're up against the devil, yo. Meet him where he is. Period.
JD
Vance. Now you got people sitting up at JD Vance 2028. I said that's never gonna happen. That's not going to happen unless y'all rig the election again. And then we just gonna have to gut up America and let y'all start all over again. For real, for real.
Yeah.
JD Vance not gonna be no doggone president. I'm sorry. Disappointing. That's not happening.
That's true.
I'm not going, because you think eggs is high now? You got ass is standing in the line trying to get that government cheese.
Saying please.
Up in there, right? You're gonna be saying please. You're gonna be begging for Kamala Harris to run.
Oh my gosh.
Dude. Okay, I'm about to get up off this thing. Look.
All righty. You know what? I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night, everybody in the chat. This was good. We got a lot of work to do, but it's gonna be fine. I think we all. I know what. I think we all have an emotion because it's tomorrow. Tomorrow's that thing. But you know what? Talking tonight, it ain't that bad because I'm thinking about if somebody came out who was entertaining, if somebody came out who wasn't so mannered, and a man, I don't believe in it myself, but if a man came out because it's the way the country is, it's very, they didn't vote for a woman, we would win. We would definitely win. So I'm not, this was good. This is a good conversation. All right, I'm going to go down and I will talk to you soon. And good night to everybody.
Thank you, Mel.
All right. All right.
Groove Dragon said, last thought, we may have to take it to the streets again. Please use your phone to record the police, support lawyers on our side, and learn about jury nullification. Thank you, Groove Dragon. With that note, I'm going to love on you guys later. Y'all go over to my other channel, Sunny Perspective. Subscribe to that channel. I will be uploading soon. Y'all have a wonderful night. And thank you all for being here.